my invitation when I asked him to come back and talk to us again, because he had so much content. And the one thing that I know that I really think that we'll all get a lot out of is just John's philosophy on actually attracting clients versus going after them and beating them over the head with, and getting them. So there's a magic in how you can do that. And authenticity, of course, runs through the core of that. And I'm not sure I know too many more people that are more authentic than John. First time I heard him, I just kind of fell in love with his content, and then getting to know him, he's just a great guy. And I'm really proud to have him as a friend now. And he works for Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. He's a broker owner in Lubbock, Texas. And he's got some pretty good success stories with his new agents. And I want him to just share with you guys some of the things that you can do, that even if you are doing them, and even if you are somebody that just attracts people, I think we can all do it better. So with that, John, and John has a kind of a raspy voice today because what did you say, John?
I take way too seriously coaching my son's basketball team. So that's why I sound the way I do today.
Okay. All right. Take it and go from here. And if anybody has any comments, throw them in the chat. John and I will both be watching them, and then I'm sure you'll give people time to ask questions too. So, and thank you everybody who showed up and is showing up. We really, really appreciate it. That's why we do these ATAs. It's for you. So.
Well, thank you, Carol, for all those kind words. I feel the same way. I echo a lot of that back to you and the Good Life group. I mean, you all are a staple in this brand, kind of what all of us aspire to become. So having me back, I'm very honored. I don't take your time lightly, and I don't want to waste it. I know this is lunch hours, so my aim is to talk as fast as I can and confuse you as much as I can, so that maybe you'll just latch onto one thing that you can implement into your business immediately. So to begin, I hesitate to do this because I did not ask for permission from Carol or Tim, but I'm going to do it anyway. And so Carol or Tim, if this goes too far, you just put the big stop sign up and I will stop. But one of the things that I have learned with my crew here in Lubbock is that the more inappropriate the analogy, the more it tends to stick in people's minds forever. So a guy walks into a bar. Yes. A guy walks into a bar and he has one singular goal in mind. Homeboy wants to get laid. Is that okay, Carol? Is that okay? Are we okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So guy walks into a bar and he's one singular task. I mean, poor guy's a little lonely, and he's got what he wants to accomplish in mind. And so he sits at the bar and starts scanning the room. Okay, what am I going to do? He starts trying to pump himself up, and he gets so nervous. So he winds up going to the bathroom and splashing water on his face. He starts practicing what he's going to say in the mirror. He's like, all right, you got this. You got this. So my guy exits the bathroom, and first girl he sees, he walks up to her and says, hello, would you like to go home with me? Slapped in the face. The answer is no. No big deal, right? No, my guy is all kinds of motivated. He's pumped himself up. He's talked himself up in the mirror. He's scripted it out. On to the next. So he walks up to another lady and says, excuse me, ma'am, my name is so-and-so. What's yours? She tells him his name, and he just pops the question. And I'll let you use your imagination as to how he asks and what vernacular he uses this time. And she's a little more polite, and she's, well, you're so sweet. You're so cute. women, like you start throwing those lines out and that's a total shutdown. Like, oh, you're so cute. That's so flattering. Thank you so much. Please leave me alone. But this time he's like, my guy's like, all right, I feel better about this, right? Like I didn't get slapped. Nobody threw a drink on me. Maybe we're going somewhere. So he continues around the bar, just lady to lady to lady. And this is the most stereotypical, I understand, the most stereotypical scenario here. So just roll with me. Just going around. And no, until he looks up and realizes I have talked to every single woman in this bar. And it's all been a bunch of no's. But he's dedicated. He has his goal in mind. I feel awkward saying this again, but his goal is I'm getting late tonight. Let's go. So he goes to the next bar. Same thing, starts asking. And then finally, our guy walks up to a girl and he asks the question and she says, you know what? Yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is lead generation. Now, same bar, completely different person. And again, y'all, this is like totally stereotypical. Please forgive this type of stereotype. Just roll with me in this analogy. Okay. So just picture like who's it for you? Like who's the thing? Who's the person? Right? Like who is that person? The ideal, like, oh my gosh, he is so fine. He is so amazing. She is incredible. Like my spouse would probably be like, okay, I get it. Whatever. That's not funny, but who's that person? Now that person is at the bar, right? That and just looking all fly, smiling, having conversations with people, just really being themselves. That beautiful, wonderful voice and smile, smells great, looks good. And in this scenario, all the guys and all the girls they're talking. Who's that person at the bar? Oh my gosh. Who is he? Who is she? I got to go talk to her. Oh, I can't go talk to him. Like, there's no way. There's no way I can go. You go. No, I really want to. So everybody else now is prepping like, oh, I got to go talk to this person. I got to find out who she is. I got to find out who he is. Like, what is it about this person that makes me want to go talk to them? And so one by one, this beautiful person sitting at the bar has person after person after person coming up and introducing themselves and let me buy you a drink and tell me about yourself. Where are you from? And everybody's putting on they're putting their shoulders back and making good eye contact and making sure they're smiling, doing all the things and throwing out game on game on game because they are so attracted to this person. And that is lead attraction. One goes on the hunt. Ask, person, more, rejection. The other one sits and waits for the people to come to them. Now, two very different approaches for the same outcome. We're both people at the bar are looking for the same thing in this scenario. Again, stereotypical scenario. And Carol, Tim, I apologize if this was inappropriate over the top. And if you don't put it on YouTube because of that, I completely understand.
It wasn't.
But I think you get the point.
In my mind.
Okay, good. So we're good. Well, the analogy's done. We may come back to it every now and then, but two different approaches looking for the same thing. I have a feeling if you could choose your approach at the bar, you'd probably be the second one. Lead gen and lead attraction have one singular goal in mind. You are trying to create an opportunity to have a real estate conversation with somebody. If we boil down lead gen and lead attraction to its most fundamental foundational thing, they are both trying to create an opportunity for you to talk to somebody about real estate. One requires you talk to a lot of people about real estate and you initiate a lot of conversations, while the other, people are coming up to you to initiate the conversation. People are coming to you that are ready, willing, and able, that have questions, instead of you trying to scatter shot your approach. Now, let's real quick bird's eye view before we can talk about lead attraction. I think a lot of times people don't truly understand lead gen. And I'm going to tell you this right now, they're both important. Both are drastically important to your business. Lead attraction just happens to be next level real estate. And a lot of people never get to this point, and some people try to get there too quick and forget about the lead gen, and so they struggle. Now, obviously, we would love to just be an agent that purely attracts business everywhere we go, and I believe truly you can get to that point. I mean, I'm sure you can look inside of your brokerage, in your office, in your marketplace, and you can identify a handful of people who don't have to lead gen, they just attract. But let's talk about the generation side first. I like the hunting, gathering, fishing metaphors. Lead gen is going on the hunt. Lead gen is going fishing. Lead gen is gathering, if you don't like those analogies. Lead gen requires you have a lot of conversations. Lead gen can be exhausting because it's a pure numbers game. Was it 50 real estate conversations to find a ready, willing, and able buyer and seller? Statistically, typically, the longer you've been in the business, the lower that number becomes. If you're terrible at having conversations with people, then that number is higher. So if you want to sell 50 homes next year, you have to have 2,500 real estate conversations with 2,500 different people. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort. That requires a lot of combos. That requires you being the dude at the bar that's just going up to as many people as you possibly can. At some point, that starts to feel a little bit gross, unless it's just straight up like, look, I gotta close a home. Not necessarily concerned about the brand building at this point in time. I just got to make some money. It requires a lot of rejection. It requires some hurt feelings from you, some up and down days. And we're talking about reaching out to Sphere and holding open houses and running Facebook ads and buying internet leads and calling for sell by owners and calling expires and doing a geo farm and doing relocation and REOs and asking people for referrals and sending postcards through Pinpoint and door knocking and all of the lead generation tactics. And there's tons of them. We can name 20 pretty quickly off the top of our head. And all of those things are fantastic. I am not the type of trainer, mentor, guide that says that you need to just chuck all of those things out of your business. That's a popular thing amongst real estate coaches and trainers right now. I'm sure you see those advertisements on your Facebook feed all day long. Never do this again. Never do that again. Never do this. Never do that. I don't think we throw those away. I think those are things that are still really, really valuable and really important. I mean, we wouldn't have Pinpoint as a brand if direct mail didn't work. It does, but it is lead generation. There are some aspects of attraction in that as well. But for the most part, we're trying to send a lot of postcards with a call to action that is enticing enough to generate a conversation, as opposed to attract a conversation, which we'll get to in just a minute. Again, we're pushing in lead gen to have as many conversations as we possibly can with as many of our ideal customers as we possibly can. If you were on the training last time with me, we talked a little bit and touched a little bit upon who your ideal customer is. What are their pain points? What are their pleasures? Where do they shop? Where do they vacation? What do they care about? What do they believe? What's their faith? Who do they vote for? What does my dream customer love? What are their hobbies? Where do they like to vacation? Who is my person? And lead gen requires you know who your dream customer is. If your dream customer owns a home that's $650,000, well, typically like-minded people live in like-minded neighborhoods that do like-minded things. So what do they like to do? What do they wear? Where do they eat? Do they have kids? How old are those kids? Lead gen requires you have the answer to all of those questions. Lead attraction requires you have a deep, deep understanding of all of those things. And right then and there, many of you can end this conversation now. Many of you will never get from lead gen to lead attraction because you do not know who your ideal customer is. You cannot describe to me who your perfect client is. Because in a minute, when we start to talk about attracting, you have to know them better than they know themselves so that they will begin to want to initiate a conversation with you based on the things that you're doing to attract them. And I want to say this again. This is a conversation over lead attraction today. And it sounds great and it sounds amazing and it sounds wonderful. But in my opinion, you cannot eliminate lead generation. You cannot. You can start to sprinkle in lead attraction. You can start to shift your business from a lead gen tactics to a more attraction-based business, but you can't completely get rid of it, in my opinion. So let's talk about the wonderful, beautiful person at the bar, whatever that person looked like for you. This is positioning and attracting. And again, this is next level real estate. This is how you make more money and work less hours. This is how you build wealth and not burn out. This is how you continue to have balance in your life, but still grow the number of commas that are in your bank account. And I'm talking strictly business right now, right? This is a more business motivated conversation. I understand that not everybody is motivated by money. So whatever that motivating factor is for you, how do we help you represent more families that need your service, but not necessarily have to put in as much effort to get to growing the number of people that we are working with? This is how positioning and attracting works and how it can help you do that versus generating. If I want to sell more homes and I'm just lead gen, I have to have more conversations, which takes more time. It takes more effort. Again, attraction is, I want to grow my business, but I don't want to have more conversations. I don't want to have to try new lead gen tactics. I don't want to have to work as many hours as I had been grinding out in the past. I want to make more. I want to work less. If that's you, then it's time to listen up. Sorry, my computer is frozen here to move on to the next point. Okay. So BHGRE Good Life Group. And I think I got a couple of my Blue Realty folks in here as well. So hello to my crew. I just saw you, but a hello to you again. If you want to grow your business, this is the hook. I'm fixing to sell the hell out of you. You want to grow your business and work less hours? Listen up. You done asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking for business? Listen up. You want people to come to you and tell you that they need to buy or sell a home and they'd like to use you? Then you need to listen up. You tired of dealing with rejection? You need to listen up. You tired of having to feel the burnout? Time to listen up. And I'm hooking you right now. And this is a whole other conversation, Carol, of how do I hook somebody so that they're so interested in what I'm about to say that they are all freaking ears. How do we grow our business and work less hours? How do we get the balance of life back? How do I get more commas in my bank account? How do I help more families? How do I grow my influence in my community so that I can serve my community better? Well, Carol, it's a really, really hard process. And it's why most realtors don't ever make it to this part of the business. But it's why the realtors in your office, in your brokerage, and the people that you're competing with in your marketplaces that are perennially at the top every single year, it's why they are there. They're more consistent in their lead attraction strategies. They're more patient with it. And most of you, what we know statistically speaking, most of you, the vast majority of you, if there's 40 people on this call, then 2 to 3 of you are actually going to execute on what we're about to discuss. But what we do know is that if you will execute on these things, if you will take them to heart and take them seriously, if you will be consistent with it, if you will be patient with it, then over time, you will begin to see that people are DMing you, that people are reaching out to you, that people are texting and calling you. And all of a sudden, you've gone from the guy that's asking everybody at the bar if they want to hook up to being that person at the bar that everybody's coming to begging, oh, please, let me tell you more about me. Here's what the girl for me at the bar had to do. The guy for you, what'd they have to do? What got them to be so attractive? What are the things they had to do? They had to dress nicely. They had to smell good at the bar. They got to smile. They had to be really good at conversation. There are things that had to happen in order for that person at the bar to attract everyone to them. It didn't just magically happen. This person probably put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into the way they looked and the way they act and how they sound when they speak and the eye contact that they make and all of the things to become the attractive person at the bar. The James Bond in the Bond movies at the bar, where everybody, guy and girl, is so overwhelmingly intrigued by this person and attracted to this person that they wanted to run up to them and say, I have got to talk to you. They prep, and so do you. So here's where we get to the meat of today's conversation. And hopefully today's a little quicker than last time for you. And some of you are going to roll your eyes at what I'm about to say, because you've probably heard this a million times already. But what I really want to do for you today is break down how this actually works. If you want to become a lead attraction magnet, and this works for recruiting agents to your team, if you are a team leader at the Good Life Group, if you are the recruiter of the Good Life Group, this works in a variety of ways. You want to bring in new talent to your team, it's the same thing. You want to bring in more ready, willing, able buyers and sellers to you. It is all about this one word. And I swear, I'm gonna look at the computer screen and watch you all roll your eyes. It's about your brand. And that's it. That's it. It's your branding. Your branding will make or break your ability to generate leads or to finally begin to attract ready, willing, able buyers and sellers. Agents with the best brands attract the best customers. Agents with the strongest brands don't have to cold call. Agents with the best brands don't have to hold open houses. They probably still do, but they don't have to. The agents with the most solid brands are the ones that have buyers and sellers reaching out to them. And the rest of us who are generating leads all the time are sitting back saying, how is she doing this? How is she so dadgum successful? I don't get it. I'm on the phone more than she is. I'm working more than he is. How is he doing this? It's no different than it has been for the last 3 decades, y'all. 25 years ago, the agents that sold the most had the best brands. They just had to spend a lot of money on billboards and bus stop ads. It's no different today. We just get to do it in a lot easier way and for way less money and a heck of a lot more efficiently. Here is your job if you want to attract buyers and sellers to you. And this is one of these, write this thing down. You've heard it before. I know you've heard it before, but I'm going to unpack it for you so you know how to tactically do it. You have to become in the minds of your people, whether they're following you on Instagram or you're friends with them on Facebook, or you have a YouTube channel and they're subscribed to you, or whether you go to church with them and they see you across the aisle. When they think of you, they have to think, this girl is the expert in real estate. My gosh, she knows it all. She is so busy. He has got so much going on. He is constantly helping me see things about my home that I've never even thought about. And I'm not even interested in buying or selling. If you want to have a solid brand, which attracts ready, willing, able buyers and sellers to you, you have to be the expert to your ideal customer. And again, I said a minute ago, if you don't know who your ideal customer is, stop watching, because none of the rest of this is going to matter. And go identify your ideal customer. And we'll talk about that again here in just a minute so we can uncover some of those things. But your ideal customer has to look at you as the expert. I have a feeling many of you that joined BHGRE Good Life Group, if you came from another brokerage, you were attracted to something inside of the BHGRE Good Life Group that gave you expertise, knowledge, professionalism, and value that you weren't getting in your previous brokerage. You were attracted to something inside of that place that said, if I come here, I can do better. I can grow my business. Your dream customers, your ideal client, when they look at you, they've got to think the same way. She's got something to offer me that I need. I'm attracted to her. She is the professional. She is the expert. And I would be crazy to use my brother-in-law that just got in the business. I've got to use her. No more hunting for business. Our people come to us because we are positioned well. That's another word to write down. Positioned. You can prospect for business, or you can position yourself for business to come to you. We are having an attraction positioning conversation. And again, y'all, this is next level real estate stuff. Most realtors don't get to this point. Even successful realtors that sell a lot of homes, a lot of them don't get to this point. They have to prospect. And you need to. I told you in the beginning, don't get rid of that. Don't stop lead generating. Don't stop prospecting. But next level, attract and position. You have some control over how you're viewed. You do. Not complete control, but you have some control over how your ideal customer, your dream client, views you. And if you can begin to position yourself as the expert in real estate first, you will attract your dream customer. If people think of you and they don't think of you as a realtor, you're dead. Your brand is dead. You'll never attract. You'll always be the guy at the bar asking every single girl if they want to hook up. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Is this starting to make a little bit of sense? Let's unpack it a little bit then. So, how do we attract our dream customers? Step number one. You have to become the attractive character. Let me say it again. To your dream customer, you have to become the attractive character. And here's what I mean by the attractive character. What do you like to do? Who are you? What are you passionate about? What do you love? What can you get on a soapbox about? Do you I love coaching my son's sports. I'm super passionate about that. And so on my branding, you will see a lot of times I will post about coaching his basketball or coaching his baseball teams because I love it. I'm very passionate about that. And guess who else is attracted to the fact that I love to coach my kids' teams? Parents with kids. Who buys homes? Parents with kids. Who sells homes? Parents with kids. It's my ideal customer. It's my ideal realtor inside of my brokerage for the most part. And obviously we're all in different life stages, but my brokerage is full of mostly parents of young kids because I attract what I put out. So I put out into the world, I love to coach my kids' stuff. My son's all over my social media accounts. And it's just an agreement between my wife and I that we're cool with that. We control what is put out there, obviously from a safety standpoint. But I let people see a window into my world. And I freaking love my kiddo. Best thing in the world. My favorite part of life is being a dad. And people who typically are following my stories and seeing the things that I'm posting about, they understand that about me. What do you love? What are you passionate about? Do you love to travel? Are you showing people the vacations you're going on? because I bet your dream customer loves to travel too. And we love to do what? We love to escape reality. So why are you not helping your dream customer escape reality when you go on vacation by showing them what you're doing on vacation? Oh, because John, I don't want people in my office to think I'm bragging. I don't care. It's not your job to attract the people inside your office. It's your job to attract ready, willing, and able buyers and sellers that represent your ideal dream customer. What do you love? You love your family. Are you passionate about dogs? I've got 2 dog stories on my Instagram right now about my German Shepherd and my Lab. I love those 2 little farts. They're awesome, very cuddly, great, loving animals. My ideal customer probably feels the same way. My ideal customer doesn't, or the person that doesn't love dogs are probably not my ideal customer. But it makes a connection with me. It builds a bridge to who is this guy? What is he about? Oh, wait, hang on. Actually, you know what? He likes a lot of the same things that I like. So many of your brands are all about real estate, and that's all it's about. Home, house, tour, kitchen, bath. That's all we ever see. I'm not getting attracted to you at all. I know nothing about you. I know nothing about your world. I know there's debate about this, but Carol and Tim did invite me, so I'm giving you my opinion. I do believe it is a mistake, especially on Instagram, to separate a business real estate account and a personal account. I think that's a mistake because you're not letting people see both worlds. And most people are probably not going to follow both accounts, or they'll follow one and not the other. I believe, and that this is kind of a hill I'm willing to plant a flag on, because I just think it's a mistake for many of you, unless you have such a huge brand like a Ryan Serhant, where you can have multiple accounts. You're keeping people from seeing what they need to see, what you're willing to show them, who you are. You love to shop. Great. Your ideal customer probably does too. So why don't you let your ideal customer see that you love to shop, or that faith is extremely important to you, or that you love
John?
to make people laugh? Yes.
I'm just going to not even stop you. I'm just going to agree with you that if you listen, remember we were talking about Barbara Betts, and she did her presentation on social media, and she's like this, like she's doing this, a whole lot of it nationally. She totally agrees with you. Like totally.
Okay.
And that was the first I heard of somebody who was like so adamant about it. But she has a really good, if you listen to her ATA that I told you I'd send you the link to. Absolutely. So I don't, I know there's a lot of people that have different thoughts about it, but I think it's leaning more in the direction of what you're talking about. So.
Well, and I appreciate that word. I definitely want to listen to what Barbara has to say, because if she agrees with me, then she's probably right. I'm just kidding. But think about this. Are you passionate about cooking? Do you love to cook? Do you love your family? Do you love golf? Well, go create the Hacker's Guide to Golf and partner with a local business and get with the head pro of different country clubs, and you go out there and hack away on a golf club and let the pro actually do a review on it. That way you've partnered with a local country club and you partner with a business. And guess what? Your dream customer probably cares a lot about that and is really interested in that. That gives me a window into your world, and it helps me know a little bit about who you are personally, because I want to hire people that I like. I want to work with people who have similar interests than me, or that similar interests with me as well. We're human nature. We want to link up with like-minded people, but so many people, they put a boundary up and a stop sign up on people actually becoming attracted to them, because you just don't want to show people what you're doing. And I get from a safety standpoint that that's very important to you. I get it. But if you're willing to show us what you can control, pieces into your life, windows into your life about what you love and you're passionate about, your ideal customer is going to link up with you, because we all know that your friends know 15 other realtors. I mean, it's just a reality. So if I can, number one, become the attractive character to them by posting what I care about, by showing stories and creating YouTube channel content. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. TikToks, whatever, about things that I care about that aren't necessarily real estate related, then if I were just a person in your community, will start to become attracted to you. That's step number one. Step number two, we've got to go from being the attractive character to also becoming what is known as the guide, Guide. And most of you are good at one of the two, but you're not good at both. But agents that are good at both are positioning themselves in such a manner that their ideal customer is attracted to them and reaching out to them instead of you reaching out. Here's what you are not. You are not the hero. In real estate, you're not the hero. You are the guide. Luke Skywalker is the hero of Star Wars. Yoda is the guide. It is your job to be Yoda to as many of your dream customers as possible. Your problem right now likely is that your dream customer doesn't know that you are their Yoda. They're linking up with the wrong Yodas, with baby Yoda that doesn't really know what he's doing. And so they're having a horrible experience in real estate when they should have had a great experience with you, but you're unwilling to put yourself out there because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And so your friends are linking up with the wrong Yoda that takes them down the wrong path in a horrible transaction, which is why people think real estate sales is just a half step above car sales. You have got to become the guide in the minds of your clients. Here's how we do that. Let me give you some tactical things that you can do. Take us on some house tours. Take a day, an afternoon, set 10 preview appointments, take your phone and go record the cool stuff that you're seeing inside of the home. Now, obviously, I'm sure there's some rules and regulations at the Omaha board about how that looks. It may have to be a vacant home. Obviously, talk with Carol and Tim about what you have to do to stay compliant with your local board. But schedule a ton of showings and get content for a month. And then once or twice a day on your stories, and I'm getting tactical here and very specific with you, on your Instagram story and on your Facebook story. And what we know right now is that personal Facebook page stories engagement are through the roof right now. Facebook's algorithm is pushing your personal Facebook stories way harder than they're pushing your Instagram Facebook stories, but they need to be on both. So as we sit today, Facebook personal stories, the algorithm is just super high on your organic reach. So that's some food for thought. But show me a really cool living room on your Instagram and Facebook story and just give me a little bit of information to create a mystery. Tell me how many bedrooms it is and tell me what neighborhood it's in, but don't tell me anything else. Don't tell me what it's priced at. Don't give me an address. This is your story, right? If you're posting it, then obviously there are, I'm sure, Nebraska state guidelines as to what you have to do. But if it's a story, typically in most states, things are a little bit different on what you can do. You can get away with a little bit more. So just post the kitchen and do a poll. Love this? Like how much do you love this? Or ask a question. What would you change in this room? This house is currently for sale. It's in this neighborhood. And that's it. I'm becoming that person at the bar that's creating a little bit of a mystery. I mean, we are typically attracted to some mystery, right? Like there's something psychological about a little bit of mystery. So if you can show me that you're out showing, I'm showing right now. You don't necessarily have to be. Like, John, I'm not busy. I can't build an attractive brand. Bull corn. Do exactly what I just told you to do. That one tactical thing can generate closing after closing after closing. We have one of our new agents in our office who's been in the business for 6 months. She's closed 11 homes, and this is her tactic. This is her number one strategy. She has almost skipped lead generation and has just become an attraction magnet with her sphere just by doing this one little thing. So not only am I creating a mystery and people will DM me, hey, where is this house? Because remember, I told you just a minute ago, the point of lead gen and lead attraction is just to have a real estate conversation with somebody. So create some mystery. John, where's this house at? Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Guess what I get to have now? A real estate conversation. Now it's my job to ask poignant questions and steer the conversation in the right direction. And I'm sure that you all are, again, the antithesis of the brand for Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. So you probably can convert these kind of conversations very, very well. I'm just trying to help you create authentically and organically the conversation without you having to go beat down the door to find it. That's one particular idea. What if you tell us what the new design trends are? Aren't we Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate? Doesn't Max Wilker tell us what the home trends and designs are? Don't we know what color schemes are coming into play before everybody else does? Isn't that part of who we are as a brand? We're the lifestyle brand. We're the ones that tell people how you should decorate your home. We're the ones that tell people how you should set your furniture up. We're the ones that are saying, hey, here's the DIY projects at Home Depot that cost you $1,500 that can add $5,000 value to your home. This is who we are at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. And I can just have this conversation with us because other brands aren't as lucky as we are to have the content that we have. You have a treasure trove of content that people care about. You remember, people don't make a move because they want new countertops. They make a move because they want a new lifestyle. They just think they want hardwood floors and granite countertops. That's not what it is at the root of it. The root of it is they don't like their lifestyle and they want a new home that can fit a better lifestyle for them or a different lifestyle. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about that lifestyle on your brand? Why don't you give me some DIY projects? You know, we have access to the Sherwin-Williams color of the year before everybody else does. Why don't you tell everybody that? That's very insightful. You are the expert. You're the person that's telling me what's happening before everybody else does. Now I'm starting to, not only do I like you because you're letting me into your world by posting about my son and coaching his basketball games and my dogs and my vacations and where I shop and what I like to do. But now you're giving me very insightful information, not necessarily just market updates, which is what everybody does. There's nothing wrong with a market update. You need to sprinkle that in there. But I'm going to tell you right now, most people don't care. But it is an important thing to do because it continues to make you the guide. But if you can be creative in what you post and what you create and what you do, and you can create a mystery on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your TikTok, on your YouTube channel. And then all of a sudden, now I'm starting to think, wow, Carol should be my guide. Because not only do I like her, not only do I think she's really nice and really funny, and we have a lot of similar values and we think a lot of the same things, but she knows what she's doing. Look at all these homes that she's showing all the time. I feel like all she ever does is show a home. She may not necessarily show homes all day long, but she sure is positioning herself as if she is. She sure is making it seem as though all she does is show and sell and show and sell and whatever. So in my mind, as her dream customer, I'm thinking, my gosh, I will be crazy if I don't use Carol. And this is exactly what happened to me and my family. We just bought a new home and we're still in the move-in process. I saw another realtor from a competing brokerage put a living room scan up on his Instagram, and I thought it was cool. And I sent it to my wife and we bought the house. So what happens to me? If it happens to me, it can happen to everybody who follows you and who is attracted to you and who knows you and who likes you. Again, it is your job to get them to trust you. Becoming the attractive character is about knowing you and liking you. Trusting you is becoming the guide. And this is where I am creating a video that I post on my YouTube channel of 3 things that you need to think about before you ever buy a home. Well, John, I suck on camera. Well, get a videographer that's really good at editing. No excuses. You want to become an agent that is based on lead attraction? Well, then chuck your excuse at the door. I'm not comfortable on camera. I don't care. Do it. I care about you as a person, but I have a feeling that the commas in your bank account would love it if you would do some things that make you uncomfortable. I have a feeling that there are people and families that need to be guided by you. They're linking up with people who should not be guiding them, that if you had just gotten a little bit uncomfortable, they probably would have reached out to you. Lead attraction is about showing me who you are. In here, who am I? What do I like? What am I passionate about? What are the things that I can get on a soapbox about? And there are some who would say that being polarizing can help you. I tend to caution people in real estate to be too polarizing, politically, about COVID and vaccines. Like you can dig yourself into a grave with some people, but you also can really attract people who agree with you. So those are the kinds of things I think you need to be really thoughtful of, but those are the kinds of things to think through. And obviously talk to your management. They may not like you making those kinds of posts. I tell my crew all the time, I don't care what your vaccine opinion is, keep it off your dadgum Facebook. That's just my opinion inside of my brokerage. But if that's something you want to plant a flag on, you will attract the right people to you. You will attract people who agree with what you agree with, and you will push away people who do not agree with what you agree with. Attraction, and those of you who've been in the business for a while understand this, it's so image-based. And when I say image, I'm not talking about how good you look, how hot you are. That's not what I mean. I'm saying if we're being honest, your ideal customer wants to work with people who dress like they dress, who live like they live, who care about what they care about, maybe drive what they drive, travel where they travel. And unfortunately, so many of you are unwilling to let people see that your dream customer is a lot like you. Therefore, they go and link up with somebody else they feel like is a lot like them. And if you will just let us into your world a bit, and then sprinkle in some content about real estate. I say sprinkle in. I mean sprinkle in. Give me 4 things non-real estate related to every one real estate related thing, and make that one real estate related thing really dang good. And in my opinion, that should free you up. Because most of the time when I sit down and talk to people about this, they're like, I don't have enough real estate content to post. Good. Don't post too much real estate content. Let me into your world. Let me see who you are. Show me what you're doing during the day. Take me on some preview showings. Create a mystery. Let me become attracted to you. Let me see that you are the guide with the sprinkled in real estate content, so that when it's time for me to buy or sell, you are at the top of my mind. Back to the old school top of mind awareness conversation that we have all had a million times. And when you have done these things, you have become the beautiful person at the bar that everybody says, I have got to talk to that person. I have got to reach out to this person when I need to buy or sell a home. I have got to send her a DM. I have got to shoot her a message. I have got to comment on his YouTube post. You have now transitioned from being the guy at the bar saying, want to hook up, 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 want to hook up. Oh, you do? Great. To now being the person at the bar that people are coming up to and saying, I need you. Can you help me? I need you. I need you. I need you. This is how we work less and make more. This is how we get balance of life back. This is how we avoid burnout. If you will just take some tactical steps to first become the attractive character, and then sprinkle in your real estate content to become the guide, put yourself out there, get a little bit uncomfortable, you will begin to attract your ideal customers. And this is when real estate really becomes incredible. And Carol, Tim, that's all I have to say.
Wow. That was a lot.
Wow.
I like some feedback from the agents that are on this call now. Like, what are you going to do different? Because I know you had tons of things to say, but it all comes back to actually in one sentence: put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
And so, of how many of you are afraid to put yourself out there? Who's afraid to put yourself out there, or what to say or do? Let's get some feedback.
While I'm waiting for somebody to raise their hand, I'll just say that I know that there are some people, some specific agents within our brokerage that I talk to on a regular basis, or I hear them say things about basically struggling with being authentic, struggling with being themselves, whether it be from their photo they use to market themselves to their online. And I believe everyone that I'm specifically thinking about is on this call right now. And so I really are on this video. I hope they hear this and understand that you can be uniquely you, and that is what it draws and attracts people. And, John, I know you were talking about like not being politically divisive. And of course, we all know this, even though some people know it better than others. The reality is sometimes people are very, 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 very passionate about one thing, whatever that is. And it's hard for them to not let that bleed out. And I get that. And you just need to be able to find ways that you can communicate about your opinions and your feelings that aren't on social media. Find a different outlet. So I just know that we have lots of people that need to hear this. So, Carol, I think we have some other people chiming in, it looks like.
Tim, could I speak to that real quick?
Yeah.
I hate getting on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. But I have scheduled into my week several times with my videographer. That's just routine. And over about 2 years now, I don't hate it as much. I hate the way my voice sounds. I don't like the way that I look. I watch a video and think, all right, bro, it's time to break down and get the Botox. Like, it's just time. I echo a lot of that. And I'm glad you bring that up. But at the end of the day, your ideal client is going to love you if you will just be you. And people who aren't going to love you, you don't want to work with those people anyway. So if you're just real, you're going to attract the right person. So thank you for mentioning that.
Hey, Brent Wax has something to say. This is, and I'm going to tell you something that I noticed you, Brent. We have several new agents, and I'm teaching 100 Days to Greatness class, but I know you more because you interact a lot and you ask questions. And if there's one thing that I think you said this, John, and I really want to ram this home with people, is just be better question askers. The questions that you ask cause conversations to happen. And Brent, I just want to give you kudos for being that guy. Several of them.
Thanks. I love this stuff, and I don't know. I wasn't expecting to take so many notes, but John, just so you know, this is the most notes I've ever taken on any little, video or class we've done. So I don't know if Tim was talking about me, but I am one of those people that might suffer a little bit from that, putting yourself out there. And so one of my things was, political stuff, that it was really important to a lot of people. And my personal page was full of my opinion. And as I'm trying to share with people, I've had the conversation with myself to really think, do I want to have this, as my line, like drawing the line in the sand of what I would accept as somebody or not? Because I think looking back, you're able to share ideas with people that come from different, backgrounds and stuff. as long as we don't talk about it. I think Tim was one of the ones that told me, he has several friends that he doesn't talk to personally about politics and has remained friends with them for so long. So that was one of my kind of aha moments of, yes, it was bad to me personally at the time, but overall, do I want to lose business on it? That was one of my main takeaways that I got. So thank you for that. But
Yeah, I think that as John said, that can be a real delineator. You could have a ton of things in common with somebody, but if it's politics or some very dividing opinions, it doesn't feel like that's somebody that you want to do business with either. It doesn't feel good. So I think that's a really, really important thing for you to notice and to say, Brent, is keeping that out of there and just keeping the good. It's so nice to have the good stuff in there, like just talking to people about the good things that you feel and believe and live. And it's a great message.
Hey, Carol, we got another call, in the chat, Trisha, I believe it was.
Yep. Trisha, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, so I've been kind of working on niching down mainly into seniors, and it's kind of been suggested that I refer out people who aren't my ideal client, and that really frightens me, the concept of referring out and not taking on that business. Can you kind of get too niche down? Is that more detrimental than helpful, I guess? I don't know.
I think it depends on how you want your business to wind up playing out in the long term. I do think, yes, you can get too laser focused. If your ideal customer does not represent a large pool of ready, willing, able buyers and sellers, I do think that is a problem. But without knowing more specifically kind of the ins and outs of what you're thinking, it's hard for me to respond. But I do think that if you do get too laser focused and that laser focus eliminates your ability to really succeed in the business, then you might want to expand it a smidge.
I'd be good one, madam. I'm speaking up on this really quick because I don't know her. She's not one of our agents. A lot of agents within this room know. I personally specialize in marketing old and historic homes, and that was a niche. And it was something that I was a risk when I decided I wanted to do that. And I even had my husband and some people I worked with were like, no, don't do it, don't do it. Now, granted, I know that you just said it because it's a bigger old and historic homes and people. That's a bigger niche, so it's not as small. But I will tell you, I am so happy I did that because I stood out more as an old house agent, and I may have lost more clients and new construction suburban clients, but what I gained was far, far, far more than what I lost. I stood out. I actually, at this moment, I'm known as Omaha's old and historic home specialist. I have 3 new construction homes on the market right now.
That's
So
awesome.
no, you don't, even though old houses are my specialty, I still do new stuff. So I think, you can go too far into a niche, but I think that's pretty hard. I think it's more attractive than detractive than anything else.
But if anybody would want to just look through Tim's Facebook, because you're doing exactly what John said. 4 things that you post versus 1 thing that's like, here's this home for sale, but your education of people with old, you educate people on old homes, not just things that you have on the market. And I guess you can turn that to, if you're in the senior market, if that's the market that you want, you could be the educator of all things that people would be, you have to jump ahead at what are people needing to know? What are their questions that you can answer? Or how do you ask the questions that gives you content? That's the thing, is if you can just do nothing but be a better question asker, you can change the direction of your business and become attractive. And being transparent. I see so many people on here who have amazing brands that they're either starting to establish or have established. Aubrey has an incredible brand that has everything that comes out of her. I'm like in awe because she always says like the funniest things that are filled with points of reference, content, and makes you think. and they're all the right words, and at the same time completely exposing herself, but at the same time remaining an incredible professional. I don't know how you do all those things, but that's a brand. And so I think whoever you are, it's okay. It just figure out how to be it and let people in.
It was wonderful. I think we do have to get going because we are now over our class. It's 3
We
minutes.
are.
This was
This
fantastic.
was fantastic, John. We will have you back again because there's so many sub things, titles and
Yes.
things that you do that I think we could learn from. And I love that you think we're so hot as a brokerage. We think we're pretty hot as a brokerage.
You are.
But
You are.
you're right about people were attracted to us because we did not go out and do a lot of recruiting. I mean, that was not our picture, and people were attracted. And so
Yep.
if you guys want to know what it looks like where you live, the brand that you live under. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. Anybody else have anything last minute?
No.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
John.
you all so much.
Talk
You're
today.
great. Hope you get your voice back.
Not talking anymore today.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.